Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be tackling the topic of vitamin C in a carnivore diet. We're going to be busting some myths about where we can or can't get vitamin C from. We're going to talk about what happens to our vitamin C uptake on a carnivore diet. And finally, we're going to answer the question, will you get scurvy from your carnivore diet? So without further ado, let's get into this topic. I want to start off by busting some myths here. Now, this is, of course, a mainstream website, healthline.com, and here we have a little bit of misinformation. They start off with this headline that says 10 nutrients that you can't get from animal foods, and number one is vitamin C. That said, they later admit that you actually can get vitamin C from animal foods. So this is one of the reasons why it's always important to actually read the articles and to use many different sources so that you can see if someone is, well, just blatantly lying to you. Vitamin C is the only essential vitamin not found in useful amounts in cooked animal foods. Notice those qualifiers here of useful amounts and cooked animal foods. Let's dig deeper. It is a powerful antioxidant that is important for the maintenance of connective tissue. It also functions as a cofactor for many enzymes in the body. Additionally, vitamin C deficiency may cause scurvy, a condition initially characterized by spotty skin and fatigue. Also presents as lethargy or just a lack of motivation. Advanced scurvy can cause yellow skin, loss of teeth, bleeding, and eventually death. A diet of only animal foods usually doesn't contain enough vitamin C. Again, those qualifier words, you should pay attention to these when you read articles, especially if they're written by people who aren't familiar with a carnivore way of eating. For this reason, people need to get it from fruit, vegetables, fortified food, or supplements. But do they though? However, and here we have it, however, sufficient amounts of vitamin C can be acquired from raw liver, fish, eggs, and eggs. Lower amounts are also present in raw meat and fish. So there you have it. There actually is vitamin C in liver, in fish roe, in eggs, and in meat, and in fish. So much for vitamin C not being present in animal foods. Since most people are already getting enough vitamin C from their diet, supplementation is usually not necessary. I agree. Nevertheless, several studies indicate that high vitamin C intake may protect against age-related mental decline. Yeah, it could be the antioxidant protection of cells, reduce blood pressure, and improve the health of blood vessels, possibly cutting the risk of cardiovascular disease, again, by reducing inflammation. So now let's answer the question of, can we get enough vitamin C on a carnivore diet? Will carnivore cause scurvy from lack of vitamin C? This blog post coming to us from amplemeal.com. A related concern is that carnivore will cause scurvy from lack of vitamin C. You may have heard about 18th century sailors losing teeth to scurvy after months of surviving on nothing but dried red meat. Now focus on, again, the time frame, months, and focus on the diet, dried meat. It happened because humans can't manufacture vitamin C. We have to get it from our diet, and the best source of it is allegedly fresh greens, which are hard to come by when you are out at sea for months. It's worth noting that scurvy-ridden sailors were eating dried meat. Vitamin C is a water-soluble vitamin, and drying out meat would remove probably most, if not all, vitamin C that was present in fresh beef. It turns out fresh beef, on the other hand, has vitamin C, even though it's never reported on those nutrition labels. Probably because it has so little, and then maybe after it's cooked, they are not finding appreciable amounts, especially if they cook it the way the USDA recommends you cook red meat, which is to absolutely obliterate your steak.
Here we go. Chef Matt, there's the beef. That looks like a pile of and you had the nerve to give me that.
It turns out that fresh beef does have vitamin C, about 16 micrograms per gram in grain-fed meat, and about 25 micrograms per gram in grass-fed meat. Now, this is one of the reasons why I do consume grass-fed meat, but if you can't afford grass-fed meat, then just find the most affordable form you can, or just eat grain-fed meat. You can see that there is vitamin C in grain-fed meat, but one thing I do is, instead of trying to buy a bunch of grass-fed steaks and BS like that, I just buy the grass-fed patties from Costco because it's grass-fed beef, So all the goodness of the grass-fed is in there, and it gives me a source of grass-fed nutrients. Granted that it isn't much vitamin C, but it might be enough. Plenty of people have eaten nothing but beef, salt, and water for well over a year without developing scurvy, symptoms of which should show up within 3 months of starting the diet. According to Sean Baker, Dr. Baker's theory is that your vitamin C needs decrease when you cut vegetables out of your diet. Also, definitely when you cut refined carbohydrates and sugar out of your diet. And the little bit of vitamin C in fresh beef is enough to keep you scurvy free as long as you don't cook the vitamin C out by obliterating your meat and cooking it well done. Now, personally, I've noted that as I progressed in my carnivore way of eating and this new lifestyle, that over time I did crave my red meat to be more and more rare. Now, I've always preferred medium to medium rare, but now I prefer medium rare to rare. And there are often times that I will eat a rare steak. I just want to sear the outside of it and then eat it. That's pretty much the way I cook my red meat now. Now, there is some interesting research to back up this idea about vitamin C and meats. People who went on a ketogenic diet had higher vitamin C levels than people who went on a moderate carb diet, despite the fact that when getting only 4% of their calories from carbohydrates, it's difficult to consume large amounts of vitamin C. It is possible that very low carb diets decrease your vitamin C needs. That said, if you try carnivore and you're worried about vitamin C, a daily supplement might not hurt. I don't know if the low carb diet actually decreases your vitamin C needs or not, but one thing we do know is that a low carb diet will increase your vitamin C uptake. And the reason why that is because you no longer have glucose competing for the same metabolic pathway as vitamin C. That vitamin C and sugar, yes, do compete for the exact same metabolic pathway. So let us get into that. Let's look at the science. First off, we can see this in PubMed. Glucose transporter isoforms GLUT1 and GLUT3 transport dehydroascorbic acid. This same study is also available in the Journal of Biological Chemistry. Long story short, the answer is in the title. Glucose transporter isoforms do transport dehydroascorbic acid across cell membranes and into cells. But if you prefer a more plain-spoken article about this subject, here is an excellent post from blog.liveonlabs.com called How Sugar Sabotages Your Vitamin C Intake from January 15th of 2018. A spoonful of sugar helps the vitamin C go down and right out of your system without doing its job. Studies have found that excessive amounts of sugar or glucose in the body can inhibit the absorption of vitamin C. And there is a link to a source here. In the 1970s, researchers established that sugar and vitamin C have a similar structure and enter cells using the same pathway, the GLUT receptor. So see, this is something that we have known about since the 1970s. And we have this study from 1997 that unequivocally establishes that this is the case. Glucose transporters do transport vitamin C. This makes sense because most animals actually use glucose to manufacture vitamin C in their bodies. Because vitamin C and sugar share a very similar structure, animals that have this particular enzyme that I'm not going to try to pronounce are able to synthesize vitamin C from sugar. Humans, on the other hand, have lost this enzyme along the way, and we must get vitamin C through foods or through supplementation. But let's focus on this part right here, the inhibition of the absorption of vitamin C for a second. So if we follow this link here, we end up in this study here that shows that hyperglycemia inhibits the uptake of dehydroascorbate. Because dehydroascorbate and glucose compete for glucose transporters, hyperglycemia will exclude vitamin C from the cell and resulted in a decreased antioxidant capacity. This quite simply means that look, there are a finite number of GLUT transporters on the surface of a cell. Because these glucose transporters specifically prefer to transport glucose over vitamin C, when there is excessive amounts of glucose and insufficient amounts of vitamin C, these glucose transporters become saturated by the glucose and are unable to transport sufficient quantities of vitamin C into a cell. So glucose will be transported instead of vitamin C, leading to a lower antioxidant capacity in that cell. And there is this excellent video here, so let's just play a few seconds of this video from, again, Live On Labs.
This is what happens when you take sugar with vitamin C. Vitamin C and glucose both enter cells through the GLUT1 receptor. The GLUT1 receptor prefers glucose, so it will choose sugar over vitamin C. Your so-called healthy powders have 7 times more sugar than vitamin C. That means vitamin C may not be absorbed in the cells where it's needed to support a healthy immune system. Because vitamin C is water-soluble, any extra that doesn't get absorbed passes through your digestive system and gets flushed down the drain.
So as we can see, there is a very simple explanation for why we don't need as much vitamin C on a carnivore diet, and that is that quite simply, we don't have a bunch of sugar that we're consuming that is competing with the vitamin C. It seems like on a carbohydrate-rich diet, we need much higher levels of vitamin C so that that vitamin C can compete for GLUT transporters to get inside our cells. As a result, we need to take supplements, or sometimes we just need to consume excessive amounts of vitamin C because, again, it's competing for the same metabolic pathway as sugar. So if we eliminate sugar, then we should see an enhanced vitamin C uptake, and we should see the benefits of that. So as we can see, yes, you can get vitamin C from animal-based foods. In addition, no, carnivore will not cause scurvy. If you're gonna end up with scurvy on carnivore, you would end up with it within a few months' time. And we have people who have been carnivores for 10 plus years who still have never experienced scurvy. As a result, they obviously getting enough vitamin C. And as we previously covered, excessive amounts of glucose do inhibit the absorption of vitamin C. So when you switch to a carnivore way of eating, then you will naturally increase your uptake of this important antioxidant. So if you're looking to boost energy, improve health, build muscle, and in general, just turn back the clock on how you feel, but you've struggled with diets in the past, then health coaching may be for you. I focus not just on what primal nutrient-dense foods to eat and which processed modern ingredients to avoid, but I also focus on how to change your mindset to create and maintain a healthy relationship with food. So go to linktree/Carnimentor to schedule a free, no obligation discovery call today to discuss if health coaching services might help you break through the issues you have had changing to and sustaining a healthy diet and relationship with food. That's all I have for now, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.